His passion has always been to bring out the best in those he works with. Since his earliest explorations, he's been fascinated by the human potential and how to activate the mind, body, heart, and spirit to its fullest expression. He's worked with corporate executives, championship athletes, individuals with addictions, and people from all walks of life who want to find out more about themselves and how to create the results that matter to them. Please welcome Dr. Joseph Bernard.
Good morning. Morning. So I bring a few notes along in case my mind went blank. Here. So how's everybody doing this morning? Good. I was experiencing a little bit of stress coming here because I forgot that the traffic is summer. And I had to get here, but I got here in time, so that was good. I could imagine arriving safely. So I want to talk about imagination today, and this is one of the topics that's most fascinating to me because I've been using imagination as an athlete myself and helping other athletes use imagination to create whatever they want in their lives and other beings. Now I work specifically with alcoholics and drug addicts, and so I'm helping teach them about the power of imagination. It's kind of a super tool of the brain, our imagination. With our imagination, we create the life that we want to create. And if we tune in enough, we pay enough attention to using it. What happens is that sometimes the mind gets distracted. Anyone notice that? And we wander off in different things. And so we have to really work on it. The imagination is unlimited, as we are. And the imagination is one of the places where we get in touch with our unlimited nature. If we are allow ourselves to tune in, we go, oh, that's possible. And anything you can imagine, you can make happen. If you can imagine seeing it and feeling it, you can make it happen. So imagination is not only a thought, but it's in your body too. You feel it and you can see it, and then you can make it happen. Those are essential pieces. You can't just run off ideas here and not have energy to match in the body. It just so happens today is an auspicious day in the yoga world. I teach yoga also, because it's a full moon day, and according to at least one of the traditions I know, a person named Adi Yogi, who was the founder of yoga 15,000 years ago, decided to become a teacher of yoga on this day 15,000 years ago. I don't know how they kept track of that. They kept some track of it. So that was possibly his imagination. And this is 15,000 years later, and more people are deciding that that's a practice that's useful for them. I like to think of, well, I like to remind myself that imagination is very, very positive, but all of us use it in a negative way. And I just wanted to remind you, when you are in fear or worry, you're inventing things in your mind to get anxious about. Okay? All fear, all worry arises out of your imagination. Have you ever thought of that way? Okay, it's good to remind ourselves, because we can go way off. Have you ever sat a whole day in worry and realized that you created a really uncomfortable situation and you were the creator of it? Yeah, I always think of my mom. She always worried. 6 kids probably has something to do with that. So, I probably mentioned this before. I asked her, what would you do if you didn't worry? And she said, I have no idea. So maybe she could have worked on some of those ideas. Of course, it wasn't my job to help her with that. And I was just a kid at that time. So just a reminder, when you find yourself going off in a negative space with your thinking, if you could have a moment of awareness and go, I am creating anxiety and fear for myself right now. The good thing is when you realize that, you can switch it. If you don't realize it, you go down that path and it runs you. It could be for a day, it could be for an hour, it could be for a lifetime. I talk to people regularly. I said, well, what's going on? They said, well, I'm doing this, doing that. And I said, do you really want to go there? No. Okay. Well, could we think about changing that? I have a client right now who's been an alcoholic for a number of years, and she likes to blame other people for it. And I like to remind her, she always go, okay, fine. That she's the creator of her life experience. Her imagination, she's creating her life experience. And if she blames other people, then she has no power to change it, right? Because then it's that person's fault that my life is messed up. How will you move through that if it's that person's fault? You can't move through it. That'd be a major misuse of your imagination to think they are running my life. They are making me feel anything that I'm feeling. I have to remind myself that and all my clients all the time, because they want to blame a relationship that didn't happen. I have a person that one of the clients I work with, he got involved with somebody in recovery, early in recovery, which is never a good idea because there's two people who are not functioning well come together and then they up the amp of the dysfunction. Yeah, she ended up knocking the windows out of his car and leaving town. I mean, it went from bliss to disaster in a month. Who would have imagined that? It might have been good to step back and think, where could this go? If he would have asked us, we would have all said no about going forward, because it was just the energy of the person that he got involved with was on a path. He's now in Las Vegas, was arrested for siphoning gas from somebody else's car. So, I mean, you just go, I mean, we could have all predicted that because there's some energy of some people that is struggling. It's just the way it is for now until they work through it. I think it's really important for us to hold a vision of ourselves and that we hold that every day. We can build upon that. It's good to write it out if that's helpful for you. It's good to start every day with that. What even took the idea that you're creating that day, you could hold a vision for that day. If you can, again, if you can see it and feel it, you can make that happen. That's a great way to start your day. When you wake up in the morning, what do I want to create today? What do I want to empower into my life today? And then you build upon that, and over time, it just keeps on growing and building and building. Looking for a piece of paper and pen?
Yes, sir.
Good job. So we have to, if we set up something, we have to trust the process. If we begin to see it in our mind, we have to trust that process. And what builds that trust is we keep on doing it and we keep on seeing the results. And the results may not be really significant sometimes, they may be just subtle, But if you learn to tune in enough to feel what it feels like when things start shifting, it really makes a difference. You can feel, instead of your shoulders being up like this and maybe going like this a little bit less, you just release, you feel the energy of change happening within you. In the work that I'm doing now with people in recovery, because most of the people I'm working with are in early recovery, or otherwise they wouldn't be seeing me. They would still be in the midst of the drama. Is that if you started using when you were 15 and you're now 45, you have the emotional maturity of a 15-year-old. I know. You was right. And we can all imagine back to being 15 and thinking we may have lacked a little maturity at that time. Anyway, so the challenge is to bring them kind of up to date. But the first 6 months or a year is you're hearing things and they're acting from the 15-year-old rather than from the 45-year-old. So you have to bring them along. Okay, now we're coming up to being an adult today. We're going to look at exploring how we can express that in new ways rather than our reactivity, our old belief system, our old imagining of who we are. And that's a process. For the people who don't go through residential treatment, it's sometimes a lot longer work because they're just going to meetings and coming to see the counselors and coming to groups. But they're in intensive when they go to residential, and like a 90-day program, they get a lot of stuff all day long for 90 days. And every one of them that finishes one of those comes out very energized because they're beginning to make those shifts. They see themselves in a different way. And I think that's really important, no matter where we are. If we're in recovery from worry, if we're in recovery from anything, if we begin to see the shifts and feel it, and again, seeing it, feeling it, sensing it, the sensing part of the brain is different. It's the one that if you right now sitting in your chair, feel the chair that you're sitting in. That's the part of your brain that needs to be activated. When we're in the midst of visualization, because the more we get the whole body engaged, the more we shift things, because we can't just do it from up here, even though that's a major place. We got to see it, we got to feel it, we got to know that this is possible within us. I thought today I would like to do a long meditation, and we'll dive into this. And what I want to include in this today is I want to include us as individuals, and I want to include the community here, and I want to include all humanity in our imagination today. Because it's my view as a mental health professional looking out in the world, I think we need to change, make some shifts as humanity. Yeah, do you have a, okay. Oh, yeah, thank you. All right. So your task is to sit, allow your mind to open up, to breathe, and we'll go on a journey. First, I'd like you just to be aware of yourself breathing. Feel the breath as it flows in and out. I'd like you to feel the chair that you're sitting in. Feel the weight of your body on your seat. You might even hear the ticking of the clock or cars going by. You're in a body. This is full moon, so the moon has an incredible capacity, this energy of shifting water. So we're made up of mostly water, so we might even be aware in this moment that we're in a time of raising energy. So as we tune in and feel us as a body, I'd like you to come in and connect with what we would see as our mind. You could see it as the top of the head. You could see it as the third eye, whichever part of it you're connected with, whether it's intuition, tuning in. I'd like you to be in touch with that, whether it's the wisdom of the heart. Let's tune into that right now. Feeling the energy of the heart, the flow of the heart, connected. We'll have it even connected with the vastness of the universe. First, I'd like you to have a vision of the next period of time in your life, whatever that might be. Maybe it's the next week, maybe it's the next year. As we age, sometimes that vision looks really different than what we had when we were younger. It would be very different, but sometimes it's more of an inner journey that happens because our outer journey is not as focused. So for the next period of time, you are seeing yourself in a state of imagining, in a state of wonder, in a state of curiosity, in a state of joy, in a state of energy flowing, vibrant energy flowing through you, your expressions. Energy is kind of the fuel of imagination. How much energy do you bring to your imagination? Makes it as vibrant as it can be. Now see yourself creating this life that you want to live. See yourself feeling it, because the heart-mind coherence is really important, connecting heart and mind in body, so you're connected to that too. And you're living this life. We define our vision of the future in this moment, expressing it, feeling it, sensing it, seeing it. And then imagine that we're building the community here at Unity, just building that community, see what that would feel like. Imagine it, feel the energy of that. Feel the energy of connecting, expanding your connection in your families, your friends. Imagine what it would be like if you had a really powerful circle of friends and family, and they were always energized in a wonderful way to interact with. I know some will be challenged or challenging. It's okay. Welcome them into this energy field. Visualize their strengths. And let's go out bigger. Let's imagine the community here on the Oregon coast. And I'd like to begin to imagine some real changes. So let's imagine that everyone has a home here on the Oregon coast. Let's imagine that everybody has enough income that they have all the food they need. Let's imagine that the resources are there, the health insurance that they need is there, everything that they need to live a life that's vibrant and alive. And in that state, obviously, imagination is a much greater possibility. And let's expand that across the planet, maybe first across our nation, across the planet, that what guides us all is a clarity of vision using our imagination, a connection to our heart, So there's compassion and kindness and caring guiding all the decisions humanity makes. A world vibrant and alive with connection. The energy flowing through us all. When we see somebody that needs help, we get them the help they need because the resources are there. Sometimes people wander off and need to be brought back and get given the support they need. So now the whole planet is doing that. Everybody is tuned into each other. Feel what that feels like. If you walked out your door or you watched the nightly news or whatever you did to shift something, and you go, oh, when I walk out, I know everybody's going to be fine. Oh, I don't have to watch these things on the news anymore about the terrible things happening to humanity because we as humanity have shifted that. There's no reason to be in fear anymore or worry because we all understand we're all conscious enough to relieve everybody of those emotions. We're conscious enough, we have images in our own minds of what that world will look like or looks like now. And just breathe into that. Feel your shoulders release. Feel your heart big and full. Feel the joy that's possible. Feel in this day the energy of the sun, the energy of the moon on us. And imagine that huge pull of even the water in us is flowing and energizing and creating a wonderful world for us as an individual, a wonderful world for our community, a wonderful world for all humanity. Joy, ease, flow, abundance, beauty. Think of all the beautiful things that will be created in a world like that. There's already many beautiful things creating in this world. Imagine where everybody feels empowered enough to express their beauty, express their imagination. Now I'd like you to kind of bring this energy that's wide out there because I don't need you to walk around today with all that energy spread out. Let's bring it back into our heart center and into our mind so that we're carrying this visualization with us today and whatever we do, but it's not dominant. It's just part of who we are. And we build upon that. If this was a powerful meditation for you, you can take that and build on it every day. You can create your own in any way you want. If it involves music, be sure and bring music in. It involves sounds. If it involves painting or creativity of your own form, writing poems, whatever it may be, let that flow through you and let it flow out into the world. And each day we can imagine everybody, everywhere feeling this energy, transforming them, transforming their hearts and their minds into a beautiful world. A world we all deserve. It's available to all of us. Any limits that we've been carrying with us dissolve. Because the light of consciousness, the light of imagination, the light of love, compassion, kindness flows through us and out into the world. Unlimited. Imagine it, see it, feel it. Namaste. When you're ready, come up here.